I think. This meme that he forgot, but he didn't this time. I swear. Maybe. Did I? Yeah, this one. It says I forgot, but he didn't. It's an inside joke. I swear. Okay, let me change it back. All right, it's time. Let me start this and send everybody another notification that this is happening because we are going to have the amazing Mac Reynolds today at the stage. Going to wait for a couple more minutes so everybody can join into the stage. And how this is going to work. First, I'm going to start off with a few questions for Mac, and so everybody can get to know him a little more, because some of you might not know him. A lot of you probably know him already, but we're going to send in with a few questions. And then afterwards, after a few questions, there will be the possibility for you to request to speak on the stage. So if you have any questions, feel free to prepare your microphones so you can ask your questions yourself on the stage to Meg. And then we're also going to look into the chat if you can't speak on the stage yourself to ask your questions. So I think this is going to be a great time. About the timing, we're going to see how long it lasts. It depends on your questions, and I hope not everybody is going to ask about the next albums or any of those questions, because if all of you are going to ask about that, it's going to get boring really quickly. So I hope you have some great questions prepared for us. And also, if you have questions, don't put them into the chat just now, because they're going to be asked later. So feel free to chat along to the Q&A for now, and then you can ask your questions a bit later. Okay, then let's see. I hope our special guest for today is already in this event stage. Let me see. Maybe he can join himself. If not, I'm going to do it myself. Let me see. Oh, it's a lot of people in here. Oh, great to see everybody. There he is. Hope you can hear him and see him.
Hey guys.
Hello, Meg. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? Good to see you, Raz.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming today onto the stage for this Q&A. I think we're going to have a great time with the questions from the people. And first up, like many of the people on here probably know you already, but if you want to introduce yourself quickly for everybody.
Yeah, sure. My name is Mac. Hello, everybody. I've been managing the band since forever, I guess, 15 years now, whatever it is. Was started out with them, when we were making our own EP covers and pressing our own EPs and selling them at merch booths. And so it's been a journey. And yeah, we wouldn't be here without you guys. So when Raz invited me to come today, I was stoked to come.
Awesome. All right, then let's start this thing with a few rapid fire questions for you, if you're okay. So quick questions, quick answers. Are you ready?
All right, I gotta buckle up for this one. And I see a lot of people commenting on my name. Yeah, I forgot that this is like my gamer tag name, and did not think to change it for today. So I'm gonna pretend like that was on purpose.
So, gamer name is a great question. So one of my questions: what is your favorite video game?
Oh man, ever or now or okay, it's just rapid fire. Okay, I loved GoldenEye. It was like the one game that I was like, I could have been a professional. We had esports back then. Um, I grew up playing like a lot of Sierra games, LucasArts, Delphine games. There was this game called Another World. It's also called Out of This World, I think, depending on which territory you're in, and that was super awesome. Currently, really like Overwatch. I really like Valorant. I've been playing Hogwarts a little bit, playing a little bit of Starfield, of course. Yeah, that was a long answer. Sorry.
No worries. Like, we have a lot of time today, so I said rapid fire. But if you have a lot of things to share, then of course I'm not going to stop you. So, so next question: what's your favorite food?
Pizza. Maybe. I don't know. That's a tough question. It's very dear to my heart. So my family, gets together every Sunday. Like me, I have a ton of brothers. Danny's obviously one of my brothers, and we get together on Sunday at my parents' house and we make homemade pizza. And it's been a tradition since I was a kid. So um, I'm gonna stick with pizza.
That's a lovely answer. I like that. I really like that. So, what's your favorite place to be?
Home.
Awesome. What is the last concert you went to that wasn't an Imagine Dragons concert?
Ooh, man, I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. What was the last concert I went to? I have like, just so you know, I have like an amazing short-term memory and a very horrible, horrible long-term memory. I'm trying to think what the last concert I went to that was not Imagine Dragons. I mean, I definitely saw a Paul Simon concert. It was amazing. Went to a Billy Joel concert, a lot of old school stuff. But I've been to like, festivals and stuff. So it's hard to say. I can't remember what the last one was. If I think of it, I'll jump back in. I'll tell you.
All right. Then, would you like to recommend the same song to everybody? Like we know you had that playlist once where you put in your favorite songs, but I don't know if it has been like updated a lot. So
Hey, you know what?
give
It's
us
funny. Like literally just yesterday, I was like, it's time for me to bring back the Mac track. I have a playlist on Spotify. I used to update it with just songs they come across. Um, and I've been really, really bad about updating it. So I will I'm gonna try. But I don't know. I heard a song yesterday I really liked, called Hold Up by hold on, I'm gonna look at my songs here because it's my most recent liked. I'll tell you right now. By Ethan Tash. It's pretty cool. I liked his vibes.
maybe you can put it into your playlist then after this.
Yeah, I thought
So
about it. Here, I'm gonna do oh, that's like I don't know how to share the song actually. Whatever. I
perfect.
tried.
So everybody can listen to it after the Q&A. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I'll add it to my playlist right now. There, done.
Awesome. And then I'm going to share, or somebody who has the link to the playlist can maybe share it into the chat so everybody can see that. Awesome. So, one last thing. What is one thing that fans should do more often, and one thing that the fans should do a little less, maybe?
The band should do more often and less. Oh my gosh, I would never suppose to be telling we serve the fans, not the other way around. So that's a hard question to answer. But what do I wish fans did more and wish they did less? Uh I wish they did more love. Like every time I see fans, like welcome each other, showing like we have a special group, right? Like in terms of like this body of people, right? And I think of like Discord as kind of ground zero. It's a lot warmer, right? You go out to a dragon show and it's good vibes. So I'm gonna say the same answer for more and less. I would love to see less kind of sniping or like looking for opportunities. Like, social media, it brings out the worst in people sometimes. And really everybody's looking for like their hot take on Twitter. And so I would say, yeah, I would like to see more welcoming and love online and a little less hate and snarkiness.
Great answer. Okay, that that was the rapid fire question part of the Q&A. So
Survived.
you did it. Perfect. So what one thing that I wanted to talk about, because like this Q&A is also part of our like seventh server anniversary of this Discord, because a lot of people don't actually know that this server is already 7 years old. This server has started back in 2016 as a fan server, and then it has been growing a lot slower than it has been these days. Like in the first few years, there has been only like a couple of hundred people chatting in here, but it always has been a great time, because also the band did a lot of those code hunts. Like for Evolve, that was the first one that we experienced together, and it was like a really crazy time, and we really enjoyed that. And we also still do that on the server, and
You
I think
enjoyed it, right? You enjoyed it.
yeah,
Enjoyed
sometimes
it probably, right?
like the goal is like the friends who made it along the way, right? So that was also always been great. But then also like during the Mercury ascending thing, like you also created the I'll make it up to you server, and then things slowly started to get like building up because like I think you created that server as part of the code hunt for the Mercury album. It has been a part of like those this code hunt, and then you also asked people like, should this be the official server? And then it started going from there because then that server also needed moderators because it became a little own community. And then I stepped in as the first moderator of that server as well, I think. And then things went from there basically. So, uh, and I think like in January of 2022, like we ended up like having this server as the official server and hub for Imagine Dragons. So that has been like a really quick story of like what has been happening. And I think it's a really cool thing because one of the things that I'd like to ask, because it's not really a usual thing to like hand an official tag basically to a fan made community. So what has been leading you basically to make this community on Discord the official Discord community and have like fans like me and all the great moderators that are working here like to handle this?
Well, I don't think that you guys are usual moderators. In my experience, like someone who's been doing this so long, with so much love and passion, you could never hire somebody or bring somebody in from the outside who would be able to understand a community like that. So for us, it was really a no-brainer. It was really more about listening to everybody. And you guys may not know this, but Raz did an incredible job with the whole moderator team at that point of trying to listen to everybody in the server and ask some really hard questions and be really introspective of like, how can we improve? Like, what can we actually do to make this better? And to me, like that just says everything. Like a person that's willing to step back and after years of like sweat and tears, like to be able to still step back and say, hey, what can I learn? Like, how can I do better? Just says a lot about a person. I want to also point out, like, when we went through all those code things, like, if you guys only knew how many times the band has like looked at each other and been like, "This is too hard," and every time it's like by like album 3 or 4, I was like, "Is anything too hard?" Like, I don't think anything's too hard. Like, you guys blow my mind every time we go through those things. So we're giving you a short reprieve, but there's probably more to come. So sorry.
No, I think like it's incredible like how everybody gets together and like tries to solve these puzzles and crazy riddles because like it is really hard, but then it is also like when we actually get there, like we are all super happy and like when you like think about how we went there, I think it's a really cool thing. So I'd really love like for this tradition to keep continuing. I think everybody's agreeing like everybody's saying like, God damn, this is so difficult. But at the end, I think it's an amazing thing. And please keep doing it so everybody can enjoy it for a long time as well.
Yeah, I like love escape rooms and stuff. Like I'm really into that stuff. Like to me, the harder something is, like the more satisfying it is when you solve it. So but there may have been a moment or two where we had to like well, I don't want to give away anything actually. We might have had to help you guys along once or twice when things got
Yeah,
really.
yeah, I think that's also one of the things I want to ask, like, how many times are you actually looking into this Discord? Because, like, uh, especially during those code hunts, like, I think Dan also mentioned it in an interview before, like in Vienna last year, that they are actually looking into this Discord sometimes, especially during those code hunts, and maybe sprinkling in some clues. So,
Not usually, just for the record, like not like usually we're like, you know what, like give people more time, they're gonna figure it out. I can only think of one time that we had to use some very shady tactics to you know, there may or may not have been a band member, under somebody else's name, participating in a code search at some point in time. Uh, just very, very light clue that, by the way, if someone was like, no, that's a terrible idea, then that was the end of it. And then like literally like days later, it was like, remember that one guy who said such and such? And anyway, we all had a good laugh about that one. But yeah, they definitely snoop around.
that's really lovely. And, like, coming from your side, I don't know if anything's planned, but, like, do you have anything to say about the future of the Discord? Like, is there like, a lot of people have been asking about another Q&A with the band, for example, that has been one of the things that has been highly requested, for example. So maybe if you can give us a little sneak peek.
Yeah, we are very, very committed to really treating this like ground zero in the future. I know Raz, we talked about that a lot, and I've talked about the guys a lot. When we have something exciting to talk about, which hopefully will be hashtag soon, right? We will. I think you could definitely plan on seeing the guys' presence a little more here. We also have some other kind of different type of things that are pretty exciting that are in the works. That could be exciting for people, especially in Discord, but can't talk about it yet. That's more of like give it a year, maybe or less. Um, so there's you'll see more of us, not less. I guess is the short answer, right?
That's really good to hear. Like, and the sneaky soon. We always hate to hear that, but it's the correct word, I would say. Like,
It's true at least, right?
we love a little teasing in here. Like,
Just that the new album is called Soon. That's funny. Yeah, should be.
awesome. So maybe let's jump in like into like more general questions. Like I have a couple of more questions, and then I would love to invite people onto the stage to ask their questions themselves. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing. But as again, I really hope that not everybody is going to ask the same question about when is the next album coming. I think Mac won't be able to share about that too much, as you can
Well, I can tell
imagine.
you guys, it's coming soon. That's they're
I
writing.
love
They're
that.
they're writing right now. How about that? That's something, right?
There you go. So maybe let's talk about like your job as a band manager. Like maybe a lot of people don't know what actually entails all of like manager is like a really broad term. Like what is a manager actually doing? What are like some of your responsibilities and daily tasks you have to do?
Oh man, that's like an impossible question. It's a weird thing, right? Because there's no like management book, there's no like training course. And if you talk to other managers, it's like you feel like you're doing completely different jobs because everybody does it super different. As you guys know, like I answer a lot of emails. Not everybody likes to do that, right? Like I like to talk to people. Um, but I always think of it like you're kind of like your biggest thing is to kind of preserve the direction and unity of the ship, and kind of just be the glue with the guys. And yeah, but for me, I mean, like the best part of my job has always been being able to get to interact with you guys who, like me or fans of the music and feel a part of the community. So that's the best thing for me. But if somebody asks really, they're like, hey, how do you spend your day? I'm like, emails and phone calls. It's like lots of Zooms, that's like most of it. It's not like as exotic as people would hope probably. There's just a lot going on all the time. I have that like that Google meter that like tells you, like I broke it the first 2 months I had it. It was like you had too many emails and then it eventually caught up. Um, and I said I get 10,000 emails a month from over 1,000 people. So there's a lot of emails and that keeps me busy. But then you get to do the fun stuff too, right? You get to be part of the music videos and be a part of the creative, and that's the stuff I love the most. Do you guys like to do music video? That was pretty cool.
Liked it. Maybe let's see into the chat. Like, huh? Love,
Did
yes,
anything
yes.
the
A lot.
catch the Easter egg in the new music video?
Ah, the Easter egg. Yeah. I maybe
Pretty obvious.
somebody.
Oh,
Was
there
it
we go.
like?
I'm a
Yeah, I
nacho
think.
roll. I'm a nacho roll guy. There's a throwback
Perfect.
to Top of the World, which is like, if you guys don't know, on Top of the World, I know it has like a lot of references in it. Probably people don't know how many. There's, I think, 96 hidden Easter eggs in that video or something like that. There's a lot. There's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
You can even find me in that music video if you look very carefully, maybe.
Awesome. Like you also mentioned like those emails because like a lot of people are also saying like a lot of people say like stop emailing Mac because he's getting way too many emails. Like how many mails are you actually getting from fans like daily or like, and are you actually answering all of them?
I think I answer everybody who emails me personally. Yeah,
Great.
it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know. I
That's
don't know the answer for you. It's 10,000 a month. So divide that up. I don't know whatever it gets to. Uh,
that's
it
crazy.
keeps me busy. But you know what? I always consider myself lucky to know so many great people. And as you guys know, there's just a lot of really wonderful people in the community. So it's never a chore.
That's lovely. I definitely agree. Like, I met so many lovely people on the server who also got to meet like on concerts as well, and it's always been a great time. So I can only confirm what you have been saying all the time. All right then. So that has been it from my side. So we are now going into the part where people can request to speak on the stage. I just enabled the feature. I think you can just start to join in with your questions. Just make sure that everybody who wants to join us the stage has the microphone prepared so we can hear you loud and clearly. Maybe let's check in. I need to check with
No, that's too bad. I'm gonna click the leave the stage button and jump off very quickly. It's too hard for me to answer. I'll leave Raz to answer it for me. I'm gonna do my best though.
Okay, maybe let's start with the first one. I just invited someone onto the stage. Alaric, I think. Yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
it works.
Great. I don't know how many questions I'm allowed to ask, but I will try to make it short. First question, I think I saw a lot of people discussing about it, but maybe you can answer it. Will Platz be at the TRF Gala?
Well, let me first ask, where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Germany.
Germany. Where in Germany?
Yeah. Excuse me?
Oh, where in Germany? Just curious. It's a great country.
Near Berlin.
Okay. All right. Me and Raz got to meet up in Cologne not too long ago.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I was at the show actually in Berlin.
oh, all right. Well,
Me too.
so obviously, this is a question I know that a lot of people are wondering about with Platz, and I think what I would say is this: you guys have people you know and love in your life. We all know and love Dan, Wayne, Ben, and Platz, and with people you love, you let them tell their own stories at their own time when they're ready, right? Everybody's on their own journeys, and sometimes I know we all wish we kind of had every answer sooner, or we want to know, exactly what's in people's minds. But I kind of think it's better to give everybody their breathing room to be able to share their story at the right time, and that should be seen, I'm sure. And so, yeah, it's not mine to speak to, right? Like it's not my story to tell. I can tell you my stuff, but not them. I'll just tell you lots of love across the group, for everybody as always.
Okay, thank you.
Already kind of dodged a little bit, but that's the best answer I can give you. Do you want to ask one more while we got you?
Yeah. Second question is quite about the Mercury tour still. Maybe let's talk about the set list. I know that a lot of fans have been requesting many of the Mercury Act 2 songs on the set list lately, especially. But we had to notice that it got even less. So maybe you can explain the reason to us why even we in the end only got Bones and Sharks on the set list. I mean,
it's funny. I guess what I'll say is this: I couldn't really give an exact reason because the guys choose their set list all the time. They change it all the time, and they kind of go with what feels good. But I will say this: like, it's probably harder than people realize to make a set list, especially this part of their career. Makes everybody happy because you're playing to every night. You're playing to people who have never seen the band before. A lot of them, right? And then a lot of people who have been to every single concert. And some people really want to hear the new stuff. Some people are like, "This is my first time ever. Like, I got to hear Radioactive," right? And so, it's a tough balance. And I can just tell you, the guys are thoughtful about it. They care about it. They talk about it a lot. But I couldn't answer you if it'll change, go one way or another, or whatever. But I can just say, like, they're always trying to do what they hope is best for fans. And you can't always nail it. You can't always, please everybody. Unfortunately, it's tough.
Of course, yeah, thank you.
Cool. Good to meet you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your questions. Then maybe we can move to the next person. Let me see. Let's go. I sent a request to Peeps. Peeps, if you can. Yeah, there you go. Hello, Peeps.
Hi.
What's your name and where you from?
I'm from Uruguay. Hi.
You're from where? Sorry, say that again.
I'm from Uruguay. Can you hear me?
Oh, Uruguay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, is my video
Well,
looks like it turned off, right?
Oh yeah, I think your
yeah, it's
videos.
off.
Let me turn it off and on again and see if that fixes it. Just all of a sudden turned off. I don't know why. It's just I can't stream into this channel. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I'll answer without you seeing me, but go for it, Peeps. What you got for me?
Okay, so I imagine you have like millions of memories with the guys, but what's the one really memorable moment that comes to your mind instantly?
I'll never forget being on the red carpet with the guys, and I just had my like second baby. I don't know, like literally like hours before. So my poor wife, and I'm on the red carpet, and I think I was sick at the time too. But it's when we heard about winning our first Grammy, and that was a cool moment. So I was with the guys, and we're all there, and like we were pretty young and green at the time. Like I'd say maybe awards don't mean as much now as they used to back then, but like, I remember everybody kind of just coming together in a close circle, and it was just like this kind of moment. Like the guys are not big on celebration, right? We're all kind of like put your head down, keep working. But that was a moment I think where we all just kind of like realized, wow, this is like getting to live your dream. It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that sounded so emotional. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to meet you, peeps. Hopefully see you in Uruguay.
Yeah, please.
Awesome. Let's jump right into the next question. If a Jolly Canadian wants to join the stage, he can do so now.
Hello.
Hey, Jolly Canadian.
Hi, Mac.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Good to see you.
All right. So, I was wondering, this was quite a few years ago at this point, but I remember, I think it was in an interview Dan mentioned, Ben had gotten into a little bit of trouble at one point, some arrested for something, and then he mentioned that you were trying to rush to play bass that night. Did you manage to learn any of the songs?
That's funny. I actually, so I told you I have this like really bad long-term memory, but some things like you never forget.
Mhm.
And I remember I'm driving in the car to the venue. I think it was like the Hard Rock Live or something. And they were like, he's not going to make it. And I'm like sitting in the back, I'm listening to stuff. I'm like doing fake like air bass. I'm like, C, 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 D, 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 D. I'm like thinking about it. I play guitar, but like, I don't like sit around and learn Imagine Dragons songs, right? That's just not, my kids do it. So I was scared out of my mind and thought I would actually be doing it. And I probably had gone through a few of those in my head. But no, like the closest I ever got to that was, and it doesn't even exist online anymore, so I don't mind bringing it up, which is our first TV appearance for its time on Jimmy Fallon when we did It's Time, and there was no audience because of Hurricane Katrina. I think it was Katrina, right? No, it was Hurricane Sandy. No, Sandy? I don't know, one of those. And anyway, so I was playing the mandolin at that one. And there was no audience, and I have like a beanie and glasses and like a turtleneck. You can't even tell it's me. But that's the closest I got, I guess, to having a sub in.
Nice.
Any more questions?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Then thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Have a
See
good
you
day.
later.
Bye.
Awesome. I'll just keep him going. So I think, let me see. Mr. Panini has been invited to the stage.
It's an excellent name.
Mr. Panini, if you want to still join the stage, now is your chance. Giving you a little bit longer. I don't think they are joining in. They just requested
people.
again. There you go.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, We can hear you. Hello.
Hey,
Oh my god,
introduce yourself.
I didn't know I could be here. Uh, well,
Why don't you tell us your name and where you're from?
I am from Colombia. I had the opportunity of being in Colombian concert. So maybe my question is, will you guys be back in Colombia?
Oh, I'm sure we'll be back in Colombia. Colombia is a beautiful, beautiful country, and I'm sure we'll be back.
Thank you. And probably, and I don't know what to say. I just thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for your
please
support.
say Dan and the guys, I love them so much.
I will.
Thank you.
I promise.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. I'm going to continue. Let's see. I'm sending a request to the second Ben. So there you go. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Hi, Mac. Hi, Raz. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. My name's Ben. I'm from Canada. I'm a Jolly Canadian's roommate and best friend, actually. But
Good
I
man.
was curious. I think you guys have mentioned it before, but has there ever been like a time where you guys are like you or the rest of the guys are like really, really proud on a song and you're like really curious about like how people are going to react to it, and it's just and then sort of uh it the reaction's kind of underwhelming to what you wanted it to be, or
That's a good question, and that's a hard one. I couldn't answer for the guys, but I could try to give you my answer.
okay.
First, I should say, yeah, like there's always, especially, I think as you get older as an artist, I think you tend to like you love to create, and you're not like as worried about like, hey, people love it, they don't love it. Like you're just going to create something that feels good to you.
Mhm.
Especially if you're an artist that writes your own music, right? It's a different kind of thing. And the guys, as you know, Dan's lyrics are really personal and whatever. So for him, the creation process, I think, is enough. But I'd say,
Yeah.
especially early on, like you don't know what to expect, right? And I think maybe one of those moments was maybe Bet My Life, where it was a song we knew and loved, and maybe overthought the production a little bit. And I'd say that probably if the guys had a do over, they'd probably go back and release the original version of that, which is a little bit different.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a tough question. And it's a good one. But I'd say in general, I think that they definitely don't care, like what a critic might think about something. They do care what the fans think. But they also, I think, are just satisfied to just create. When you create, like if you create something for people, if you're writing a song for radio, for example, it's like not authentic to you, and you put it out there and it doesn't do well, that's like devastating for people.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I think for the band, like they've never really done that. Like they've kind of been like, yeah, like we know people expect this, but this is what we want to write, and we're going to write it. And if you put out something that you love, that you feel represents you, and it's not like loved or accepted, or it doesn't get a big reaction, you can still feel good at the end of the night, right? You feel like, yeah, it's okay. I put my best foot forward, and not everybody's going to like resonate with everything I do.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, well, that's really good to know. I appreciate that.
Well, you're now the first Ben to me. Just want you to know that.
Yeah, I'm honored. I'm very
I love Ben
honored.
to Steve, but now he's got to be the second Ben. It's got to happen.
Yes. Okay. Good to know.
Good to meet you, Ben.
All right. Good to meet you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Continuing, let me see. It's hard, like we have a lot of requests here. Like we probably won't have time to answer everybody's questions, but I'm trying my best like to get a lot of people into this. Let's see. Tomfoolery has been invited to the stage.
Tom, come on, you gotta step on up. Gotta be ready for that moment.
Invite has been sent.
By the way, I'm sorry I'm like drinking religiously over here. Got a little drinking water.
Yeah, like I have my cup of water here as well. Stay
I'm on the back.
hydrated.
I gotta stay hydrated. I had a cold and I'm just getting over it. So bear with me.
Okay. So Tom hasn't been joining, so I will throw in another request. Let me see.
I want to read all these stats. This is great. Tom, what are you doing? You're throwing.
It won't work. Okay, let me see. Maybe I can invite you again.
Oh yeah, give him another shot.
Yeah, I send another request. The technology these days, right?
Tom, if you want to ask a question in the chat, I'll answer it.
Yeah,
How about
maybe that would be a good thing. Maybe.
No Tom imposters, though, guys. We just want the real tomfoolery. No tomfoolery.
Maybe I just try to invite him again. Or them, sorry.
Oh, tomfoolery. Hey, man.
Maybe let's invite someone else first, and maybe we can go back to them. Okay, maybe I will send another invite. Let's see. Dex. Dex, you've been invited to the channel.
Come on up, Dex.
Mm-hmm.
Tom asked to send one more. Tom, we'll try this one again. Oh, maybe. Oh, is it Degs? Wait, it can't be.
No,
Degs.
no. No.
Oh, it's Degs.
Dead.
Okay, that's good.
But
no, hey, whoa. Get under control, guys. I gotta close down this chat before I go crazy.
I think you summoned something there.
I woke the beast. That's all right. It's my fault.
Oh God.
Just
Maybe
these like squashy ones. The squashy ones are even maybe more terrible.
Maybe there's even a version of you I don't remember. But
Dax, come save us. Where are you?
Okay. Oh my God, I can't read the chat, guys.
Oh, there's tomfoolery. Hold on, he requested to speak. Let me invite him.
Yeah. Maybe
it was so hard. It was like those like arcade things where the lights are going on. You had to click it right at the right time.
I think I invited them again.
I definitely invited them. I got that click right as it went up.
Perfect.
Hey, Tom, you got lots of limitations.
I'm not sure if it's like from our side but it worked before. Okay, let's see. Slow mode has been enabled. Perfect. So I'll try to send another invite. Maybe. Let's see. Rumbleshoot.
You want me to answer some of these questions while you're trying to get somebody up here? Oh, we got Rumbleshoot. All right, what's up, Rumbleshoot?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, thank you. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous and a little sick, so.
I'm sick and nervous too. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Justin and I'm from Hamburg, Germany. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I really enjoy what you guys do. So my question would be, Mac, did you ever give any huge input into like any albums that the guys ever made?
Oh man, I think I got to plead the fifth on this one. I'll just say, okay, cowbell. That's true. How'd you know about that cowbell story? Somebody being real or are they joking right now? There really is a cowbell story. As you know, like it runs in our family. Dan's the same way. Like never short of opinions. Oh, hey Dax. So I always share my opinions, and yeah, I think sometimes they're helpful.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, Rumbleshoot. It was a great question, but
no, it's fine.
we got Tom Fuller, we got Jackson, we got all the people now.
Oh my God!
You just want to all stay up here for a minute? Tom, why don't you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can.
Oh my goodness, my phone! I have a Z Fold 4, and the aspect ratio kept throwing itself off. I'm so sorry about that.
Don't even worry about it. Where are you from?
Oh my God, I'm from the United States, Ohio.
Great, welcome.
Oh, well, nice to talk to you guys. I've been listening to Imagine Dragons since 2009. Just started listening to you guys again back in Origins, and I'm I'm currently making a 2.5-hour video on you guys, so I'm just kind of grabbing all the information I can. Just an iceberg video, if you're familiar with that, Mac.
Very rad. That's great, Tom.
Yeah, so I guess my first question is to you is throughout that time, what is your like biggest kind of culture shock in terms of the growth? What do you think is like different from then and now? Like what is the biggest thing that you had to get accustomed to?
Man, good questions today, you guys. Jeez. Well, let me say this. It's funny because some things really don't change. Like the guys have the same crew, as you know. Like this, like we are big on like loyalty and family and like sticking together. So some things really haven't changed. I would say one of the biggest culture shocks was, I think, early on, but like only magnified now. I mean, I had the same experience. I think I was in like Austria or something recently, where you look out and you're like, this is a crowd that does not speak English first, and it's a lot of people, and they're singing every word, and that's like, I think that's what gets Dan emotional on stage too. It's like
Wow,
a
yeah.
very simple thing, when it's you've written something very personal in your room somewhere, and then like a whole crowd of people you've never met who don't speak your language are singing that back at you, and that's pretty special, right? That's the thing that makes everything worth it, I think.
Yeah, totally get that. I do have one more question if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, it's a very selfish question. My partner and I have been both listening to you for about a decade now, and I know you guys are kind of stopping your tour. Understandably, you guys are pushing yourself way too hard, and on behalf of our whole Discord, please take a break. But is there any way that I can like propose with you guys? I was gonna get front row seats, and I was gonna propose, hopefully with kind of some kind of interaction with you guys, but I don't know how that's gonna happen since your tour is coming to a close. Is there any way I can make that happen?
No, look, Tom, I'm for one thing honored, and I know that the guys that say they would be so honored to have somebody say that they care enough about that. And thank you for being an OG since 2009. I will tell
Thank you.
you, we get there's probably not a show that goes by that we don't have someone who wants to propose, and someone there's like
Oh, really? Okay.
nobody would believe it. It's like there's like 10 really great important moments, and like the guys had it kind of early on because we tend to be like yes people, right? Like we want, especially for your fans, like you want to do whatever you can. But it's one of those things, if you open that door, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
right?
understandable.
It's like every person will be like, wait a second, you told me that you guys don't do that in your shows. And it's hard because you're trying to create this like moment for everybody who's there. I'll just say, like, honestly, like from the heart, like if they knew like somebody who's been here since 2009, like cared that much, and like they would be honored and they will know, because I'll tell them after this. But we wouldn't be able to do it because of that. We just don't open the door up because it's impossible.
Totally get it. Totally get it. I appreciate your time and you guys for everything you do. Appreciate it. And I'll keep listening, and I'm sure everyone else in here will too.
I hope they say yes. I'm sure they will.
All right.
And
Thanks, guys. Thanks for dealing with my bull.
dude, of course, Tom, great to meet you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, Dax, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sean. I'm from America. Yeah, sorry it wasn't letting me join earlier for some reason, but it works now.
All
But
good. You're in here now.
yeah, I was in like online Zoom class at the same time, so I think that's why. But yes, I just wanted to ask like I guess a couple of like basic questions, but it might also be hard to answer. But so do you have a favorite Imagine Dragons album and also like favorite songs?
Ooh, man, yeah, it changed a lot for me. Smoke and Mirrors was always a really special album to me, but also it's like hard for me to listen to. So I don't think I would pick it. Because it just was a tough time, right? It's like a very raw album. You guys know that. It's one of the reasons it makes it special, but it's also kind of hard for me to listen to because I was kind of
Yeah, it's like a lot darker, I feel like.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna be so like cliche, but like I really love Evolve. Like I just think it's just a really bright, beautiful album, and it represented such like a nice phase of our life. Favorite songs, like what I really like. I'll Make It Up to You. I think it's just an underrated. I like the underrated songs. Not Gold. Sorry, I was called Gold. I'm like a mind blank now. Ready for the Fall. The Fall. That song, it to me is like one of my
Oh yeah.
favorite tour memories ever. Is like the first show in, I guess that was Smoke and Mirrors, where like we had the columns and then like it shatters and the leaves are falling and it's confetti and it was like that cathartic moment. Like that to me was like one of my, if not favorite, tour moments ever. And that song was special to me too. It like represents like a lot about my family and a lot of things that are kind of personal.
Yeah, I love that song. I actually sang The Fall at karaoke once, and it was really fun.
Video
I
where it didn't happen, Max. For Sean. Come on
no
now.
video, unfortunately, but I think my favorite album is probably Smoke and Mirrors. And a song that I think is my favorite song from that album is probably Smoke and Mirrors. But I think the most underrated song is probably like Release. It's just like an acoustic song, but I love that song. It's so good.
That's a good deep cut right there. I'm with you. It's a really pretty one. And it's
Yeah,
tough because, you know, like the broader audience, like they tend to resonate with like the bigger songs.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people don't get exposed to some of the very best songs, which are different and a little bit out of the box.
Yeah, I agree. Another song I really like, just overall, that I think is also really underrated is Cha-Ching.
It's a great one. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Good
And then,
taste. Good taste, Sean.
thanks. And I have one more question.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite like band or music artist besides Imagine Dragons?
I've always been a Paul Simon fan. You know who I really get down with that I really loved back in the day, and I was listening to it just yesterday, is Temper Trap, kind of like a off the beaten path a little bit.
Oh, cool.
But who's like my favorite? I mean, I listen to such a weird diversity. I could be listening to Band of Horses, and then I could be listening to like hip hop, and I could be listening to, you know, I really skip around quite a bit. But I think I have like a soft spot for like, if I was like favorite albums of all time, I think Paul Simon's Graceland's my favorite album. I also really love Flying here, sorry. Steve Earle Guitar Town. I don't listen to a lot of country music, but like if you want like a perfect record, it's unbelievable. Listen to a lot of like alternative growing up, just tons and tons of alternative artists. Had like an 80s phase too. I think we all did. Yeah, that's a tough question for me to answer though.
Yeah, I really like Paul Simon too, and Simon and Garfunkel, of course.
Mhm.
And I think earlier I heard you say you saw Billy Joel.
Oh yeah, I saw him in Vegas at the T-Mobile. Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's cool. I love Billy Joel.
Oh, so good still. You know who else is amazing still? Elton John. I got to meet him afterwards to talk to him. It was this incredible experience. But dude was like, he's standing up on his piano and just banging away and like blew my mind. So good still.
Yeah, he's great. My favorite band, well, like I don't really have a favorite band, but I have like three favorites. But I really like Depeche Mode a lot. I don't know if you listen to them.
Oh my gosh, love Depeche Mode so much.
I also saw
Yeah.
them this
Oh, really?
year.
I'm seeing them in
Yeah.
October. That's awesome. But yeah,
Depeche Mode,
their
I
new
love.
album was
There's a few 80s bands that I like, very special to me.
yeah, they had a new album this year that was really good. If you haven't heard it yet,
Oh, I have. And I
Nice.
agree.
Well, it was nice meeting you guys, and thank you.
Great to meet you,
Thanks.
Sean. Hope you didn't ruin your school Zoom.
See ya.
Take it
Bye.
easy. What do you think, Raz? We got time for one or two more before we call it? How are we doing?
I think so, yeah. Totally. Let's see. We have still a lot of requests here. Like, I'm totally sorry that we can't pick everybody, but you know, we only have limited time. Maybe we can repeat it again. Like, if so many of you have so many questions, maybe one day we can do it again. Like, definitely people want to hear from you, Mac.
Definitely people want to hear from the band, but they'll tolerate fans from
No, that's not true.
We'll get the band on here soon when the time is right, which hopefully the time is right soon. Nick, love you too, buddy. Thank you.
Like, also, just like you mentioned like the fall earlier, because like I have one of the Smoke and Mirror Tours posters like at the back. You can't see it right now, but like that Smoke and Mirrors tour show was the very first concert I went to, and so the fall has been very special to me as well. Just wanted to mention that.
I've got a smoke and mirror somewhere. I got a couple
Ah,
things. If there's anything interesting, I can throw you guys. Yeah, probably not. Next time, maybe. I'm gonna think about that. And we're back. And I did it.
awesome. Let me see. So I'm going to send an invite to DJ Soft Hands. Another great reference.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hello.
Hi, I am Jarne. I am from Belgium.
Yarna, enchanté.
Hi. Well, I'm from the Dutch part, so I don't speak very well French.
Sorry. I speak no Dutch.
So I have a question. When you 15 years ago decided to manage the small band your brother created, and to see now it has been this hit-producing band, how was it like for you? Do you feel any pride? Do you feel any? What do you feel? How do you look back on those 15 years?
Man, it's a complicated set of emotions, right? I mean, I think the biggest thing is gratitude, right? I mean, I watched so many friends' bands struggle that are great. I watched great artists who had success and didn't last. And when I look at like our peers, like over the last 15 years, and how many bands like eclipsed us and then disappeared. And so when you look back, it's not just like the fact that like you were able to, break or whatever, and a lot of people listen to you, just the fact to have like that longevity and still be able to play and people care about what you have to say. Definitely gratitude is the biggest thing. But it was very unexpected. I mean, we all really believed in what we were doing, but like, I was working in a law job. I was doing like boring, like litigation work in LA, but I was making a good paycheck and I left it and was like, you know what? I'm gonna work for free and we're just gonna try this thing and we're gonna just give it our best. And I don't think like when we were sitting in those like CD bars, like, passing out EPs and stuff, like I don't think we ever could imagine we'd get to where we are. And I feel like, if it ever comes to a point where I don't feel grateful for that, it's probably time to do something different or, move on. But yeah, usually the test for me is like, do I still appreciate free stuff? If I ever get to, I'm like to my wife, I'm like, if I don't ever try to get any free stuff I can get, just tell me I'm derailed. Something's gone wrong in my life. So gratitude is the biggest thing. But it's definitely been like, it's been a roller coaster, right? It's been like a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And when you work with family, that's like, those are like more pronounced. You can't really separate yourself emotionally. I'm not good at that anyway. I'm not really like good at emotionally separating myself from things, but when it's family, then everything's more personal. So the highs are higher and the lows are lower. And you care about a lot more than just the success or the music. Like there's a lot more things you think about, It's a very long rambling answer for you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Have a
it's
great
great to
day.
meet you.
Thank
too.
you. Great to meet you too. Bye bye.
Awesome. I think we have still time for a few more, I think. Let's see. I send an invite to Oni, I think. I'm sorry if I butcher any names. I still always get that with my name. My name is Emily, and everybody like writes it wrong, so I'm used to it. So please get used to it too. No, just kidding. Okay. Oni wrote in the chat their question, so I am going to read it out. What advice do you have for people who might want to be a manager? Is being a lawyer vital?
The short answer is definitely no, it's not vital. All of the things that are the law stuff that applies to being a manager, you can learn without being a lawyer, I think, but it was helpful. I think the most important thing for me about law school was that it helped me to think critically and it helped me like look at things a little bit differently. But it's not essential. And there's not really like, it's interesting because I grew up like, playing a lot of different instruments and doing things, like 3D animation. And I was always like a hobbyist doing a lot of different things. And I used to be very frustrated that I did not specialize in something. And so for me, that was like the biggest like aha moment of becoming a manager is that it's one of those things where being a generalist is kind of good. Being able to like know a little bit about graphic arts or a little bit about music or about film. And so the most important thing is to be a big learner. If you love learning, you love stretching yourself, and you like dealing with people and helping people, then the management's cool.
They also had another question. What is your favorite moment as a manager?
I don't know. That's a tough one. It's always something with the fans, being able to do the wish fulfillment kind of stuff, bringing people together across the globe. Those things are pretty cool. Showing up at somebody's house in Florida without any idea if they're going to be home and finding them home. That was a good one. That was a crazy one. We'll have to tell that story one of these days. Yeah, Adam, exactly. That was nuts. I don't know what we were thinking.
Okay. They also thank you for your time, and also put in brackets also when are they coming back to Australia, like the band, because it wasn't Australia wasn't into the Mercury tour.
I know, and without saying too much, we thought it was going to be. We really tried. And I can't even remember now what happened that it didn't pan out. World tours are hard. It's really, really especially coming out of COVID, there's so many people all going to the same venues at the same time around the world. And so being able to figure out how to get everywhere is next to impossible. And you always fail a little bit. We failed a little bit this time, but we will be back. We want to get back to Australia ASAP.
That's good to hear, because a lot of people were asking about that, because you didn't hear anything about it. So I think it's great to hear that you will be coming back eventually.
We're not forgotten, that's for sure. Yeah, far from it.
Okay, maybe let's get in one or two more questions. And I think, let me see. Inviting Lonely. I think I sent you a request.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello.
can. Hello.
Hey, okay. Well, I'm so nervous. Okay, so I'm Iris. I'm from Israel, if that matters. So I've been to the show in Tel
What's your
Aviv.
name, by the way? Sorry.
Hmm?
What was
Sorry?
your name?
Iris.
Iris. Okay, great to meet you, Iris. And don't worry, take your time. We're not in any rush. Happy to meet you.
Okay, so first of all, the show in Tel Aviv was truly a life-changing experience, and I can't even explain how grateful I am for, them and you being coming to my country. That was insane. I thank you. I truly thank you. And is there any chance that you will be back in Israel with the band?
Oh, you're very welcome, and it was our pleasure. And yes, the answer is yes. And just one
Okay,
small
really?
thing I want to say about that too, because I know people sometimes, there's a lot of friction you get about playing in certain places, and I just think it's worth pointing out, everybody has their own stance on where they play and how they do things. But our mentality with Magic Dragons has always been, you never punish people and fans for the actions of their leaders. Sometimes the ones they don't even elect. We've really tried to create safe spaces for people where they live, and to be able to go to as many people as we can. And I understand some people don't have the same point of view on that. And I only point that out because I'm sure you guys saw there was a lot of hate, for people anytime they try to go play Israel or other shows. And it's not that the guys don't think or care about that. They have a very, very deliberate, stance on why we play, where we play. And so I'm glad to hear from you, Iris, because for me, that's that's an important validation for that there's people who are waiting for you to come and to share that moment and to lift them up. And, it was an honor to play. That's all I'll say.
Okay. And I have one more question. Is there a Love Loud tour planned in Europe?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know the answer, since I run the Tyler Robinson Foundation. And I told Dan, I was like, I'm gonna be there to support Love Loud every step of the way. I love what you're doing, but I just couldn't do two charities. So I'm just a fan, and I show up at the events, but I don't know. I'm not very good at knowing kind of what's in the. And I know that they were doing 3 shows this year, I believe, which is super exciting. They're expanding, and I'd be shocked if they don't make it to Europe before. I'm sure that's part of the plan, but I don't know the answer, unfortunately. I'm so sorry.
Okay, and actually one more tiny question. Will there be in the second season of Arcane?
Can't answer that one.
No?
So sorry.
It's okay. Well, thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you, Iris. Great to meet you.
You. Okay. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one last to recall.
One last. There we go. Let's see. I am sending it to Drew.
Look how
Hey, can
fast
you hear me?
Drew, you're like the world record. That was like. How you
Yeah,
doing?
I was waiting. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Where are you coming from?
I'm from Illinois.
Cool.
I'm also one of 2 guys who runs the band subreddit.
Oh, dude, amazing. Oh, great. Double good to meet you then.
So my question is, back in 2010, the band did a podcast with the Blue Microphone podcast.
I can already tell it's gonna be hard. As soon as you said you run the subreddit, I was like, oh boy. Okay.
And I dug the file up on my computer recently, and I uploaded it to YouTube. And on the podcast, there was a snippet of the band playing the song "I Wish You Well," which I believe they recorded a live performance for that podcast. Obviously, not the whole thing was on there. So I emailed Tyler Barth. I think he's the guy who did the podcast. I asked him if he had the file. He said when the podcast got bought out, they didn't back up the files properly. So he said it's basically lost on his end. So I was wondering, do you guys have that file? And then just like on a more generally, will I Wish You Well ever see like the light of day? Because it's, despite it being kind of obscure within our community, it's pretty popular for being an unreleased song.
I gotta say, I love the song. So let me say that first. Like, it's not lost on me. I'm actually looking at my email right now. I'm just very curious. Yeah. All right, there we go. Sorry, you put a little bug in my head and I wanted to come see. Let me answer the last question first. There are thousands, probably, to be honest, but at least several hundred songs that I think the guys would very much like to be able to share at some point in time, in the right way, in the right time. And I Wish You Well is a beautiful song, actually, and I'm surprised people remember it from that little snippet, but it is a really pretty one. So I don't know. I don't know the answer to it. I would say it is very likely that it gets released, is I think the right answer. I think knowing the guys and their desire to kind of dig up those archives and at the right moment, the right time. There's a lot of early demos that I think would be a lot of fun for like the OG fans to hear. Not Boots. That one's gonna die. But I Wish You Well is a good one. So anyway, I gave you kind of like a vague answer, sorry, but only because I hadn't really thought about it. And we do have that song. I have that demo, and yeah, I think it'll probably be released at some point in time, would be my guess.
Okay, awesome. And then one more I have. I think I read somewhere one time you won a Grammy for a essay on the music industry or something. Do you have anything to share about the story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a Grammy. I've seen it kind of misspoken that way a little bit, but it was actually a really crazy thing. It actually is like a big reason why I kind of got started on this path, I guess. I was in law school and I submitted to like an essay competition that the Grammys did, and like just did not. I had like literally zero expectations. I wrote like the most non-law school essay that was just about like how to fix a music business, and it was very critical and kind of making fun of the record labels a little bit, and I just it was very it was just like the last thing I would have ever expected is to do well, and then found out that it like won this like grand prize, and I got a scholarship, and I got to go to the Grammys, and I got to present it like to like Neil Diamond and all these people with this thing, and it was really cool. It was like I got to go to all the events and be a part of it, and I'm actually now like still I grade those papers every year for them, and still I'm a part of that. It's called the Entertainment Law Initiative, is what it's called, and for me it was just like one of those like amazing things where it's like, whoa, like music is something I love, but could it be like a part of my future? Like I didn't know that at the time, which was cool. So anyway, that was a deep cut right there, Drew.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for asking. It was great to meet you.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
too.
we'll see you on the Reddit.
All right, sounds good.
And Drew, stop leaving the server every day.
It makes
swear.
it hard to focus sometimes.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for your questions.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Well,
Okay.
I really appreciate everybody. Just want to say that, like, thanks so much. I know this was like the poor man's Imagine Dragons Q&A
No,
today.
we are collectively giving you like an award for the best manager. Like,
It's a
imagine
very
this is
low bar. It's a very low bar, as you guys know. There's a lot of whatever. Let's leave it at that.
no, we really love you and appreciate for all you do, because like I also know because I'm working with you guys a lot, like you guys have been the kindest and best guys to work with, so I really appreciate all you do for the server as well and for the community, because like you answer all these emails, for example, and let us be part of like the whole story, like with answering all those questions. I think that's really, really beautiful. So thank you so much for taking the time today. Maybe we can do it again, because like we have so many more people who wanted to speak today, but sadly we have to stop slowly now. But we really appreciate you for everything you do. So I just wanted to say that.
Really great. We wouldn't be here without you guys. And is it true that Believer and whatever Battle Prize the same birthday? I've never met someone the same birthday as me. So if I don't know if they're lying or not, but if you were saying the truth, happy late birthday to you too, my birthday friend. Pretty cool. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hope everybody has a good night, day, wherever you are. And I'm sure we'll see you guys on the road soon. Make sure you say hi if we see you.
Thank you so much for coming. And I wish everybody a nice time zone wherever you are. And
Tune
we will be back soon.
in. Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.
See you.
Bye.